let's get straight to it.
For anyone who finds themselves in need of a quick on-the-go breakfast or a daytime snack, Carnation breakfast bars used to be a great choice, particularly in the 70s when the options for such a thing were not nearly as extensive as they are today. In many ways, when considering all the similar granola bars that have come out since, Carnation breakfast bars were ahead of their time. Relatively rich in protein and nutrients, they had the classic combination of granola, peanut butter, and chocolate, both in the form of coating and chocolate chips. People kept enjoying them throughout the 80s and into the 90s, but they disappeared from shelves before the turn of the century.
New Carnation Breakfast Bar, the instant breakfast you can get your teeth into.
Number 34. Keebler Tato Skins.
Elves know better.
Yeah.
We use the
You
whole
know
potato,
everything.
skins and all, to put big taste in Tato Skin snack chips.
In the 1980s, the Keebler elves took the potato chip game to uncharted territory by making use of the outer part of the potatoes. And it worked. Crunchy and flavorful, Keebler Tato Skins had all the ingredients for an addictive snack. They came in multiple varieties: sour cream and chive, cheddar and bacon, barbecue, and good old baked potato. By 2000, however, they were discontinued. Oh Boise's, a more traditional but still well-liked potato chip from Keebler, met a similar fate. These days, TGI Fridays produces its own line of potato skin chips, but they just don't carry the same nostalgic appeal. Number 33. Eggo Mini Muffin Tops. Many would agree that the top part of the muffin is the best part. Just ask Elaine Bennis.
I'll tell you, that's $1 million idea right there. Just sell the tops.
So when the famous frozen breakfast brand Eggo came out with their mini muffin tops, there was bound to be demand. They came in classic flavors like blueberry and chocolate chip, offering Eggo a chance to dominate a unique breakfast niche and expand its reputation outside of its more traditional products like waffles and pancakes.
Introducing new mini muffin tops from Eggo. We've saved the best part of the muffin, that flavorful, fluffy top, just for you.
Unfortunately for fans, mini muffin tops never became a staple, and nowadays, you won't find them at your local supermarket. Number 32. Kudos Bars.
Outrageously right, new Kudos granola snacks.
Talk about an awesome sidekick to your main course for your school lunch, and the perfect after-school snack, too. In 2011, Kudos Bars took iconic Mars candies like Snickers, M&M's, and Dove and essentially infused them into granola bars. This made for a soft, crispy, chocolatey, and jaw-droppingly tasty treat. While they were in fact granola bars, in many ways, they felt like candy bars too. However, in 2017, Kudos Bars were discontinued. Technically, their history dates back to well before they included those Mars candy classics.
Oh, I accidentally paused the video.
Originally released in 1986, they gained a reputation through 3 flavors: Nutty Fudge, Chocolate Chip, and Peanut Butter. All we have to say is kudos to you, Kudos Bars, because it was a great ride.
Simply nutritious, outrageously delicious. Kudos, I'm yours.
Number 31. Little Debbie Cosmic Cupcakes.
We're going to launch Cosmic Cupcakes into space.
Cosmic Brownies are a Little Debbie classic that many people are familiar with. Now take that cosmic theme with its colorful candy-coated chocolate chips and soft chocolatey goodness and make it into a cupcake. What do you get? Well, Cosmic Cupcakes, of course. These mouth-watering treats had vanilla cream in the center as well. Just visually, you could tell that these things were out of this world. They were even launched into space one time. Sadly though, in 2017, Little Debbie posted a tweet announcing that her epic Cosmic Cupcakes were being discontinued. Hopefully someday they'll return to our world. Number 30. Hostess Chocodiles.
Hostess Chocodiles from Chauncey Chocodile. It takes a while to eat a Chocodile.
After originally being sold in stores across the US, Hostess Chocodiles were later available only on the West Coast. These snack cakes were a delicacy, chocolate-covered sponge cakes with a cream filling. Some have argued they were simply chocolate-covered Twinkies. Even a Hostess employee once confirmed that was the case. Yet others believed there was a noticeable difference in texture and moisture. Whatever the case, these things were the real deal. Look no further than Roger from American Dad.
Oh my God, how good are these?
Chocodiles had a good run too, debuting in the 1970s and lasting until the 2010s. Even if a company manages to produce something similar, good luck coming up with a name as good as Chocodiles.
So fans of the retro treat Twinkies have another reason to be excited this weekend because they're making their way back onto store shelves. They were apparently gone for almost a decade. Actually, we have some producers who stockpiled them.
Number 29. Squeeze It. Unless you're in the United Kingdom, you can no longer get your hands on Squeeze-Its. And even then, these aren't 100% the same ones you knew and loved in North America.
You don't just drink a Squeeze-It, you squeeze a Squeeze-It.
That's a shame because these things are the very definition of childhood nostalgia. This fruit-flavored juice was made by General Mills and came in a unique plastic bottle that you had to squeeze to drink.
Check this out.
There's nothing really fancy about the juice itself, but the bottles were a fun novelty for kids, and the bright colors certainly drew eyeballs. Squeeze-It was a staple of the 80s and 90s, and it periodically appeared in stores throughout the early 21st century, but they haven't been around since 2012.
Go ahead, squeeze the fun out of it.
Number 28, Smucker's Snack and Waffles. Smucker's is a huge company, but not all of their products are home runs. Case in point, the very short-lived Snack and Waffles.
Brand new from Smucker's, it's the Smucker's Snack and Waffles.
These were your basic frozen waffles, only they came with pre-sweetened flavors like blueberry and maple, so that you didn't need to use syrup. The tagline told you all you needed to know. Ready to eat, already sweet.
There's a ton of chocolate chips in here, and it's like gooey chocolate chips.
They were first released in 2011, but discontinued just 1 year later owing to poor demand. Luckily, the nostalgic among you are in luck as a company called Arlington Valley Farms has taken on the mantle and released their own version of a Snack and Waffles.
Are they any good? Last night.
Number 27, Heinz Easy Squirt. Look, we love innovation as much as the next person, but come on, purple ketchup? What were they thinking?
Ingredients say Heinz tomato ketchup and then coloring.
Every kid who grew up in the early 2000s surely remembers Heinz Easy Squirt, which was basically just ketchup, but, green, purple, and a few other non-conventional ketchup colors. The condiment came in plastic bottles that were easy to squeeze, and the funky colors were a huge draw for children who didn't want to use boring old red ketchup. But like all novelties, the fun quickly wore off. That and countries were beginning to clamp down on foods with artificial dyes, which certainly did not help. The problems coalesced, and the ketchup was discontinued in 2006.
Heinz Easy Squirt. It's fun for your food.
Number 26, Starburst Hard Candy. Starburst is one of the biggest names in the candy biz, going strong since 1960 and drawing intense debate among fans. Are you a sweet pink person or a tangy yellow? Is red the greatest candy ever created, or do you throw them in the trash? All these questions and more were raised with the hard candy, which was basically just Starbursts, but, hard.
Try these. Starburst Hard Candy.
All the flavors were here, including a mysterious white one that some say tasted like pineapple, but may have been apple. Unfortunately, many people love the soft, chewy texture of Starbursts, so the hard candy suffered and sales never sparked. It was quietly discontinued in the early 2000s.
Need a boost? Give it some juice.
Number 25, Sunship's Sweet and Spicy Barbecue. Not every flavor can be a winner. Sunships were introduced back in 1991 and made big waves with their intense, powerful flavors, like French onion and the standard favorite Harvest Cheddar.
There's nothing quite like that delicious sun-drenched taste.
Back in 2013, Frito-Lay introduced a new flavor called Sweet and Spicy Barbecue that garnered a small but devoted fan base.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, it was a little too small, and the new flavor was eventually taken off store shelves by around the mid-2000s. It is now impossible to find, and the flavor has been removed from the official lineup on the Sunship's website.
I love these chips, they're amazing.
Number 24, Nestle Treasures. One of the biggest conglomerates in the world, Nestle has certainly made its fair share of chocolate.
When you eat one, ignore everything else.
But not all of their products were winners, like Nestle Treasures, a fun little chocolate with a gooey center. These small candies came individually wrapped and contained a rich, viscous center with flavors like peanut butter, caramel, and coconut.
They're new, and they're definitely women's domain.
Unfortunately, the chocolate biz is just way too competitive, and delicious though they may have been, there was nothing inherently special or unique about Treasures. Alas, it was sadly discontinued, and is now but a nostalgic reminder of the late 1990s, early 2000s.
New Nestle Treasures.
Number 23, Ben & Jerry's Tennessee Mud. The 80s were wild. It was a time when unsupervised children rode rampant on their bikes and you could buy ice cream infused with booze.
You slip me a bottle of bourbon, a little glass, and some ice.
And this wasn't some niche brand either. This was Ben & Jerry's. Introduced in 1988, Tennessee Mud was a coffee ice cream with almonds, amaretto, and Jack Daniels. Unfortunately, the demand for Tennessee Mud was just not there, and it was discontinued after 1 year. It is now in the company's flavor graveyard, with the brilliant epitaph, "The bottle is empty, the cup and the glass. Mud with Jack Daniels was not meant to last."
Could you even keep that in?
Number 22, Dannon Sprinklins. It's amazing what some companies think of. Dannon is a yogurt giant. Kids like sprinkles in their yogurt. So Dannon thought, why not combine the two? That's how we got Dannon Sprinklins, which was just yogurt that came with a packet of sprinkles.
A surprise in every cup.
The sprinkles added a nice dash of color for kids, and they would eventually blend into the yogurt. Unfortunately, the little candies were not enough of a draw to entice potential buyers, and the product was discontinued in the early 2000s. Luckily, sprinkles still exist, so you can easily make this yourself at home.
Dannon Sprinklins, the only yogurt snack with a sprinkles pack.
Number 21, Fiery Habanero Doritos. While there are still Doritos flavors out there for spice lovers, none of them quite have the same profile as Fiery Habanero. These fittingly came in an orange bag, containing a long list of ingredients, including tomato powder, garlic powder, onion powder, and various cheeses to at least partially balance out the fiery heat.
Fiery Habanero Doritos.
These chips came out in the mid-2000s, but to many fans' displeasure, were discontinued just several years later. Black Pepper Jack Doritos were another 2000s fan favorite that many would like to see make a comeback, but the Fiery Habanero flavor gets the slight edge here for its boldness. Number 20, Choco Tacos.
The Choco Taco was invented in 1983 by Alan Drazen, who recognized a sugary take on the taco would make for a delicious treat.
After satisfying sweet tooths for nearly 4 decades, the Choco Taco's time finally came to an end, to the dismay of many people who ever tasted this classic ice cream treat. A lot of us have fond memories of grabbing a Choco Taco from an ice cream truck on the street or in the park. Eventually, they became widely available in supermarkets and convenience stores as well.
Choco Taco fans are vocal about the decision on social media. They are also flooding the Klondike website with comments in protest.
But during the COVID-19 pandemic, Klondike had to make some tough decisions about the future of its portfolio, as demand for other products surged. Sadly, the Choco Taco was put on the chopping block in 2022. Still, we can't help but hope the iconic ice cream treat isn't gone forever, just taking a hiatus.
Almost immediately, hearts melted and stomachs growled when Klondike parent company Unilever announced production of the Philadelphia-born Jack and Jill ice cream treat, the Choco Taco, would be no more.
Number 19, Butterfinger BBs. For years, Bart Simpson warned us that nobody better lay a finger on his Butterfinger.
You won't mind if I take a bite of his crispity, crunchity peanut.
I told you, Homer. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger.
But when it comes to Butterfinger BBs, no one's been able to lay a finger on them since 2006. Not even the Bartman himself. The candy, which is basically a little ball version of the chocolate bar, had a good run beginning in the early 90s.
New Butterfinger Baby! Unbelievable, snackable balls of crispity, crunchy, peanut buttery Butterfinger!
But for some reason, we're not sure why, in 2006 they were done. 3 years later, they introduced Butterfinger Bites in an attempt to win back fans. And while some surely appreciated the new bite-size option, for others, they'll just never be as good as the BBs.
Math is easy. Let's say you have 15 Butterfinger BBs, and I take 5 of them. What do you have left? 1 less, sister.
Number 18, Pizza Spins. Pizza is one of the most popular foods in the world. And along with real pizza, folks have always had an affinity for pizza-flavored snack items as well. And that isn't just a modern-day thing either. This was also the case back in the 1960s and 70s, when General Mills introduced their little wagon wheel-shaped bites of pizza deliciousness called Pizza Spins.
Pizza. They took this pizza taste and turned it into a crunchy, munchy, mouth-sized snack.
According to the General Mills website, they used tomatoes, Parmesan cheese, peppers, and pizza spices, quote, to give Pizza Spins an authentic Italian pizza taste. And it must have worked because although discontinued in 1975, people are still talking about them today.
Can humans resist pizza spin?
Number
Ooh,
17,
looked like it would be that
doodads. Who doesn't love a mixed snack bag? Well, from the 60s through the 90s, and maybe even into the 2000s, one such yummy combination involved toasted peanuts, pretzels, rice squares, wheat squares, and cheese tidbit crackers.
It's called a party mix.
But we call it doodad.
But we always call them doodads around Christmas. We always make these and we give them as gifts.
Kind of sounds like Chex Mix, doesn't it?
Right.
But it most definitely is not. It's doodads from Nabisco, and for decades, it was a very popular snack mix. Then come the 90s, and it wasn't as popular anymore. And doodads became boo-dads, because people who loved them were sad to see them go. Awful dad joke aside, if you want to see what all the fuss was about, you could try making your own doodads mix at home. Number 16, Pizzeria's Pizza Chips. While most of us probably associate the Keebler elves with cookies, back in 1991, those cute little guys took some fresh pizza dough and cooked up the Pizzeria's Pizza Chips.
Come on down and taste something new. Right, Uncle Ernie. In your dreams. Pizza! Bizarric, man! Chips! New pizzerias!
The chips made their debut with 3 flavors: cheese pizza, pizza supreme, and zesty pepperoni. And they were an instant hit. However, by the end of the decade, the Keebler Company had been sold and the pizzerias were discontinued.
Allow me, boys. Pizzerias! Taste like real pizza!
That hasn't stopped fans of the chips from trying to bring them back, though. As of the end of 2021, a couple of Bring Back Pizzeria's Chips Facebook groups were sporting over 7,000 followers. Number 15, Hershey's Kissables. No, don't worry, Hershey's Kisses still exist and aren't going anywhere. No, here we're talking about Kissables, which, if you don't remember, were basically Hershey's Kisses with a candy coating. If you're thinking it sounds like a bigger kiss-shaped M&M and sounds delicious, it was, and it was.
Kissable, blissable, laughable, visible, innable, laudable, eatable, treatable, colorful candy shell, colorful candy shell, chocolate inside.
So why did they go away in 2009, just 4 years after they launched? That's because in 2007, the Hershey Company made some cost-cutting moves that included replacing the cocoa butter with cheaper fats in some of their candies, including Kissables. People noticed and they did not like it. Sales dropped, and that was the end of Kissables. Number 14, Hostess Choco Bliss. Take 2 layers of chocolate cake, sandwich a layer of chocolate cream in between, top it off with chocolate icing, and there you have the aptly named Choco Bliss.
Whoa, check that super chocolatey icing.
Awesome! Ooh!
Hey, whipped chocolatey cream inside.
Billed as a chocolate lover's dream, these Hostess snack cakes were a lunchbox favorite of many 80s kids. They sound like they'd be a favorite of ours today as well had they not been discontinued decades ago.
Choco Bliss, a dream come true. 1, 2, 3, I'm in ecstasy. New Choco Bliss from Hostess. Watch out.
We don't know why Hostess gave up on them, but we do know there are online forums filled with commenters lamenting the fact that they can no longer get their hands on this bliss from their childhood. Number 13, Oreo Sippers. As we make the move to try and save our planet, more and more countries are putting in place bans on plastics. Most notably plastic bags and plastic straws.
2 of the largest recycling facilities in the US said its machines don't always catch straws. So they end up in the trash and eventually in landfills.
And while we wholeheartedly support such bans, we also don't always love the paper straws that some restaurants now use. But you know what's better than paper? Oreos. But you can't make a straw out of an Oreo. Yes, you can, and they did. They were called Oreo Sippers, and they were awesome. Because not only were they a straw, but they were also delicious. Is there anything more?
Alright. I know, right? I'm just trying to get enough videos with this one. We're going to get into